Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on Intel, one of my favorite semiconductors. If you disagree, go ahead and leave in the comments. It's not going to hurt my feelings, just be a learning opportunity. I used to have AMD. As you follow my channel from A to Z, you'd know that I bought it at I think like $12.80 a couple years ago, and sold it for like $18 or $20 a share. So yeah, big loss there. But I thought I was a big time trader getting that profit. But who knows? It turned into $100 stock or 80, whatever it is now. I think it went past 100 at one point in time. But my biggest semiconductor holding is Intel. I have more in another account. I only have 4 shares here in Robinhood, but I've had these for a while. You can kind of see what this one's done here over the last year. Was a 62.97 at I guess last June. And then it kind of dropped off there to 47, kind of dropped off again to 44. They kind of had some problems. I've covered them a couple times. They got a different CEO and kind of redoing some things, so you can see it kind of goes up, falls back, and just kind of keeps stair-stepping up, and then hit a high there of 68 and then kind of drop back down. But this one also gives a dividend, which is kind of nice. Been around since 1968. Got quite a few employees. It's one of the bigger, if not the, I think it is the biggest semiconductor. So another reason why I like it. It's got a pretty decent dividend, 2.32%, $231 billion market cap, 52-week high of 68.49, and a 52-week low of 43.61. So not too bad of a return. Not the greatest ratings, 40%, pretty much buy and hold. I'm not going to be buying any more of this one at this price level. If it were to dip maybe back down here, I might look at it. But I put off buying this one for a while because it was just so stagnant. It's kind of like Coke, AT&T, and Pfizer. They just sit there. They're so big, and you collect dividends, and they just don't appreciate that much. But as you can see, it beat earnings here last time. Here's kind of a snapshot over the last couple quarters. Here's, you can see my dividends. So I have 4 shares, 34 cents per quarter at $1.39. So if you times that by 40, what was the price? Well, actually 57. And you'd have to figure out how many shares you'd get to buy yourself a new share. That'd be quite a few shares. So there's calculators you can figure that in. TD Ameritrade, it's got a calculator that's kind of interesting. You just put in the ticker, how many shares you want, and it'll kick out the income, whether it be quarterly, monthly, or yearly, however often it pays. And as you can see, I even tried selling this one back in December, and probably was too high and didn't fill, but that's fine. And used to be 33 cents, now it's 34, so not too bad. Shows a buy here on MSN Money. And so I got some other information to go over here. Intel to invest $600 million to expand chip mobile eye R&D in Israel. So they're working on quite a few different things. And this is a long-term hold. I'm going to continue to hold this one probably until I retire, or maybe then some. I don't know. So like I said, these are a long-term play. They've finally appreciated a little bit, unless something drastically happens with the company. It gives a dividend, and it's growing now, so we'll just wait. But Intel Corp on Sunday It said it will invest $600 million in Israel to expand its research and development, and confirmed it was spending $10 billion on new chip plant. So maybe you'll see some more growth out of this one. Maybe by the end of 2022 it'll be a $100 stock. Who knows? So, announcement was made during a one-day visit to Israel by Intel chief executive Pat Gelsinger as part of the European tour that included Germany and Belgium last week. So again, they're investing $400 million into the Mobileye unit headquartered in Jerusalem for R&D. Another $200 million will be invested in the building R&D center. And Intel said the megachip design facility will have a capacity of 6,000 employees. Wow. Huge. Very big. Huge. That's what she said. In recent years, Intel has bought 3 Israel tech companies, Mobileye in 2017 for more than $15 billion, artificial intelligence chip maker Habana in 2019 for $2 billion, and MoveIt a year ago for $1 billion. And I've done a couple videos on Intel. They're always expanding, getting into AI. It looks like they're building a chip plant in regards to the AI, self-driving, and so on. I've done videos on them in the past, so I like Intel. I've had them for quite a while and will continue to hold them. So even though AMD has given them a good run, but competition's good. So in March it said it was building 2 7-nanometer chip plants in Arizona for some $20 billion. Intel Israel exports grew a record of $8 billion in 2020 from 6.6 in 2019. Intel is the largest employer of Israel high-tech industry with nearly 14,000 workers. So I didn't realize Intel was that big in Israel, but that's good. Commits $600 million to build new chip R&D centers in Israel. This is just another article, so I'll just kind of skim through it. Feel free to pause the article and go over that, but it's basically the same information. As you can see here, it's on siliconangle.com. That I did have an article here on Bloomberg, and it timed out, and it won't let me back into it. So Intel will focus less on buying back company stocks, and this is just dated today. So this is the only article that I didn't like, but they're expanding, building chip factories. So we'll just wait it out, and maybe they'll do buybacks at another time. The chief executive of the biggest U.S. chip maker, Intel Corp, said the company is going to curb its focus on buying back its own stock. We will not be anywhere near as focused on buybacks going forward as we have in the past. CEO Pat Gelsinger said in an interview on 60 Minutes. So as long as it's appreciating a little bit, giving a dividend and not taking that away, and growing the dividend, and they're spending, and years, or I shouldn't say years, but down the road, I'm sure they'll be doing buybacks again. So the global shortage of semiconductor chip critical in cars, laptops, and other major consumer products has put a spotlight on Intel, the only major U.S. chip manufacturer. In the first quarter, Intel spent $2.3 billion on share repurchases, according to Bloomberg, which first reported Gelsinger's comments. And feel free to pause and go over the rest there for yourself. Intel CEO stresses more U.S. chip production, fewer stock buybacks. So again, kind of some of the same information we've already went over, just in a different format here on MSN Money. It's a rare insight. Intel's $10 billion Arizona fabrication plant. so you could even go and watch a video there. And again, kind of some of the same information we've already touched on. How Apple, AMD, and Nvidia are all on the list of companies invited to review computer chip supply chain, but guess who is? Intel. This further strengthens my thesis. Intel to 200. If you bought Intel the day after my original DD, you'd be up 13%. Actually 23 days ago. New sell recommendations for technology giant 9 days ago. So I feel it was good getting a new CEO, get some new life flowing into this company, and get it back on track to growing. And it was just so big, and it just kind of sits there and does its thing, and didn't have any growth for the longest time. And as I showed you in my history, I even tried selling it at one point in time. It just wasn't going anywhere. It was just sitting here collecting dividends, and I was thinking about selling it to put it into something else, but kind of glad I kept it now, so I'm just going to continue to hold this one. I don't have much in Robinhood, and I have more Intel in the retirement, and it just kind of sits there on drip and does its thing. So, and if I come across a buying opportunity, I'll add to it. So this talks about buybacks going forward, so therefore they're bearish on it, but they just did buybacks, and I'm happy getting the dividend, and if it appreciates a little bit, I mean, the buybacks will come down the road. Interview, he told you to sell Intel and buy AMD. So I feel they're both good stocks, Intel and AMD. I just don't have any AMD right now. As you can see, it's kind of went down, so maybe watch it and put it on your watch list, and then maybe create a buying opportunity. But I look at them as both long-term holds, but I kind of like to be diversified. But and go over here to tip ranks. So currently at 57.53, it's showing a hold and a projection of 67.19 with a 16% upside, high of 86 and low of 40. So I doubt if it'll see 40 again, but if it does, I'll definitely be picking up some shares at that point in time. But that's it on Intel. If you have Intel, or go ahead and leave that in the comments, or if you have AMD or Taiwan or any other semiconductor. I've covered a couple of them here on the channel. I feel they're all good plays. Some feel they're better than others, but I feel they're all good to hold long term, especially now where there's a shortage, and we'll just see how they turn out. But if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing. That would really help out the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Ford Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.